Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Al Munir High School e-learning system, class 9. This is your physics lecture. Today we are going to discuss our unit number 2. Topic is kinematics. This is the title page of your physics book for class 9. Today our topic is about kinematics. First of all, you have to learn the definition of kinematics. What is kinematics? Kinematics is the study of motion of an object without discussing the cause of motion. So in this unit, we will study the types of motion, scalar and vector quantities, relationship between displacement, speed and velocity. First of all, our first topic 2.1 is about rest and motion. What is rest? What is motion? A body is said to be at rest if it does not change its position with respect to its surrounding, and a body is said to be in motion if it change its position with respect to its surrounding. Look at the example. A passenger sitting in a moving bus is at rest because he and or she is not changing his or her position with respect to other passengers or objects in the bus. But to an observer outside the bus, the passengers and the objects inside the bus are in motion. How many types of motion we have? Three types: translatory motion, in which linear, random and circular are the sub types of translatory motion. Number 2, rotatory motion. Number 3, vibratory motion. First of all, look at the definition of translatory motion. In translational motion, a body moves along a line without any rotation. The line may be straight or curved. Look at the examples of translatory motion. The object as shown in figure 2.3 moves along a curved path without rotation. This is the translational motion of the object. Riders moving in a Ferris wheel are also in translational motion. Their motion is in a circle without rotation. Translatory motions can be divided into linear motion, circular motion. First of all, look at the example and definition of linear motion. Straight line motion of a body is known as its linear motion. Aeroplanes flying straight in air and objects falling vertically are the examples of linear motion. Circular motion: the motion of an object in a circular path is known as circular motion. For example, a toy train moving on a circular track, a bicycle or a car moving along a circular track possesses circular motion. Third type is random motion. The disordered or irregular motion of an object is called random motion. Examples are the motion of dust or smoke particles in the air, the Brownian motion of a gas or liquid molecules along a zigzag path are also the example of random motion. Next, the main type is rotatory motion. Study the motion of a top. It is spinning about an axis. Particles of the spinning top move in circles, and thus individual particles possess circular motion. Does the top possess circular motion? Here we have the picture. The top spins about its axis, passing through it, and thus it possesses rotatory motion. What is an axis? An axis is a line around which a body rotates. So we can say that the spinning motion of a body about its axis is called its rotatory motion. Examples are the motion of a wheel about its axis and that of a steering wheel are the examples of rotatory motion. The motion of the earth around the sun is circular motion and not the spinning motion. The motion of the earth about its geographic axis that causes day and night is rotatory motion. Last one is the vibratory motion. To and fro motion of a body about its mean position is known as vibratory motion. For example, pendulum of a clock, vibratory motion of a child and a swing. So all these are the examples of vibratory motion. Also, a baby in a cradle moving to and fro motion of the hammer of a ringing electric bell and the motion of the string of a sitar which is a musical instrument, are the examples of vibratory motions. Next, our topic is about the scalars and vectors. What are the scalars? A physical quantity which can be completely described by its magnitude is called scalar. The magnitude of a quantity means its numerical value with an appropriate unit such as 2.5 kg, 40 seconds, 1.8 meters, etc. Examples of scalars are mass, length, time, speed, volume, work, and energy. So we can say that a scalar quantity is described completely by its magnitude only. Next is vectors. A vector can be described completely by magnitude along with its direction. Examples of vectors are velocity, displacement, force, momentum, torque. It would be meaningless to describe vectors without direction. So a vector quantity is completely described by magnitude and direction. Here we have the example of a table. Consider a table. Two forces F1, F2 are acting on it. Does it make any difference if the two forces act in opposite direction? Certainly, the two situations differ from each other. They differ due to the direction of the forces acting on the table. The description of a force would be incomplete if direction is not given. How we can represent a vector? To differentiate a vector from a scalar quantity, we generally use bold letters to represent vector quantities such as F, A, and D, or a bar or arrow over their symbols like this. Graphically, a vector can be represented by a line segment with an arrow. The line AB with arrowhead at B represents a vector V. The length of the line AB gives the magnitude of the vector V on a selected scale. Next we have the example 2.1, represent a force of 80 Newton acting towards north of east. Here we have the directions north, south, east, west. We can represent it with the help of a graph from north to east. Step 1, draw two lines perpendicular to each other. Step 2, select a suitable scale to represent the given vector. Step 3, draw a line according to the scale in the direction of the vector. In this case, draw a line OA of length 4 cm along northeast. Step 4, put an arrowhead at the end of the line. In this case, arrowhead is a point A, thus the line OA will represent a vector, the force of 80 Newton acting towards northeast. Next we have very important concepts of position, speed, distance, and displacement. What is position? The term position describes the location of a place or a point with respect to some reference point called origin. For example, you want to describe the position of your school from your home. Let the school be represented by S and home by H. The position of your school from your home will be represented by a straight line HS in the direction from H to S. Distance and displacement. What is distance? The length of a path between 2 points is called the distance between 2 points. For example, A and B. So from A to B, this is the distance, and this red line shows the shortest distance, which is called displacement. Displacement is the shortest distance between 2 points which has magnitude and direction. What is speed? What information do we get by knowing the speed of a moving object? So speed is the distance covered by an object in unit time is called its speed. Do you know which is the fastest animal on the earth? Falcon can fly at a speed of 200 kilometers per hour. Here we have the formula of speed, distance covered over time taken. To find the distance, we will multiply speed by time. So S is represented as distance, V as speed, and T as time. Here S is the distance covered by the object, V is its speed, and T is the time taken. Distance is a scalar quantity, speed is also a scalar quantity, and SI unit of speed is meter per second. Uniform speed, a body has uniform speed if it covers equal distances in equal intervals of time, however short the interval may be. What is velocity? The velocity tells us not only the speed of a body but also the direction along which the body is moving. Velocity of a body is a vector quantity. It is equal to the displacement of a body in unit time. The rate of displacement of a body is called its velocity. So velocity is equal to displacement over time taken. V is equal to d over t. To find the displacement, we have this formula, velocity into t. So SI unit of velocity is the same as of speed, meter per second. Do you know a motorway speed camera? A lidar gun is light detection and ranging speed gun. It uses the time taken by laser pulse to make a series of measurements of a vehicle's distance from the gun. Also, do you know a paratrooper attains a uniform velocity called terminal velocity with which it comes to ground? What is uniform velocity? A body has uniform velocity if it covers equal displacement in equal intervals of time, however short the interval may be. Here we have the example 2.2. A sprinter completes its 100 meters race in 12 seconds. So distance is given, time taken is given. We know the formula of speed, which is total distance moved over total time taken. So by putting the values, we will get the answer. The speed of sprinter will be 8.3 meter per second. Example 2.3. A cyclist completes half round of a circular track of radius 318 meters in 1.5 minutes. Find its speed and velocity. So here we have the radius, which is 318 meters. Time taken will be 90 seconds. Distance covered, first of all we will find out the distance covered, then displacement. By putting the values, we will get the distance, then displacement. What is the formula of the speed? It will be distance over time. By putting all these values, we will get the speed. And also we know about the formula of displacement. So the speed of a cyclist is 11.1 meter per second along the track, and its velocity is about 7.1 meter per second. What is acceleration? Acceleration is defined as the rate of change of velocity of a body. So acceleration is equal to change in velocity over time taken. Here we have the formula, final velocity minus initial velocity over time taken. SI unit of acceleration is meter per second per second. So we can say that meter per second square. What is uniform acceleration? A body has uniform acceleration if it has equal change in velocity in equal intervals of time, however short the interval may be. Acceleration of a body is positive if its velocity increases with time. The direction of this acceleration is the same in which the body is moving without change in its direction. Acceleration of a body is negative if velocity of the body decreases. The direction of negative acceleration is opposite to the direction in which the body is moving. Negative acceleration is also called deceleration or retardation. Example number 2.4. A car starts from rest, its velocity becomes 20 meter per second. So initial velocity will be 0, final velocity will be 20 meter per second. Time taken is also given, which is 8 seconds. By putting all these values in the formula of the acceleration, we will get the answer, which will be 2.5 meter per second square. Next example, find out the negative acceleration. Initial velocity is given, which is 30 meter per second. Final velocity will be 15 meter per second, which is also given. Change in velocity, first of all we will find the change in velocity from 15 to 30. 15 minus 30, the answer will be minus 15. Time is also given. We have to find out the acceleration. So acceleration is change in velocity over time interval. So our answer will be minus 3. Since negative acceleration is also a deceleration of the car is 3 meter per second square. Graphical analysis of motion. Graph is a pictorial way of presenting information about the relation between various quantities. The quantities between which a graph is plotted are called the variables. One of the quantities is called the independent quantity and the other quantity, the value of which varies with the independent quantity, is called the dependent quantity, as shown in this figure. First of all, we will study about the distance time graph. This graph is for the object at rest, and this graph is representing the object moving with constant speed. It is useful to represent the motion of objects using graphs. The term distance and displacement are used interchangeably when the motion is in a straight line. Similarly, if the motion in a straight line, then speed and velocity are also used interchangeably. In a distance time graph, time is taken along horizontal axis while vertical axis shows the distance covered by the object. In the graph shown in figure 2.18, the distance moved by the object with time is 0, that is the object is at rest. Thus a horizontal line parallel to time axis on a time distance graph shows the speed of the object is 0. The speed of an object is said to be constant if it covers equal in distances in equal intervals of time. The distance time graph as shown in figure 2.19 is a straight line. Its slope gives the speed of the object. Consider 2 points A and B on the graph. So slope of the line AB represents the distance EF and the time CD. By putting the values we will get the speed, which will be 2 meter per second. Object moving with variable speed. Here we have this graph which represents when an object does not cover equal distances in equal intervals of time, then its speed is not constant. In this case the distance time graph is not a straight line as shown in figure 2.20. The slope of the curve at any point can be found from the slope of the tangent at that point. Here we have the example. Example number 2.6. This graph shows the distance time graph. Here we have the distance and the time of a moving car. From the graph we have to find out all these values: distance, speed, average speed, speed during the last 5 seconds. So total distance traveled is 40 meters. Distance traveled during first 5 seconds is 35 meters. So to find the speed we will put the values. Here we have the answer. Speed will be 7 meter per second. Average speed will be 4 meter per second. Distance moved during the last 5 seconds will be 5 meters. Next we have the speed time graph. In a speed time graph, time is taken along x-axis and speed is taken along y-axis. Here we have this graph which shows the object moving with constant speed. When the speed of an object is constant with time, then the speed time graph will be a horizontal line parallel to time axis along x-axis as shown in figure. In other words, a straight line parallel to time axis represents constant speed of the object. Object moving with uniformly changing speed, let the speed of an object be changing uniformly. In such a case, speed is changing at constant rate. Thus its speed time graph would be a straight line. A straight line means that the object is moving with uniform acceleration. Slope of the line gives the magnitude of its acceleration. Example is 2.7. Find the acceleration from speed time graph. Solution on the graph in figure 2.23. Point A gives speed of the object as 2 meter per second after 5 seconds and point B gives speed of the object as 4 meter per second after 10 seconds. So acceleration will be the slope of AB. Slope is equal to change in velocity time interval. Here we have this formula of acceleration. By putting the values we will get the value of the acceleration. Next, example 2.8. Find the acceleration from speed time graph. Solution: the graph in figure 2.24 shows that the speed of the object is decreasing with time. The speed after 5 seconds is 4 meter per second and it becomes 2 meter per second after 10 seconds. So here we have the formula of acceleration. To find the slopes C and D, by putting the values we will get the negative acceleration, which will be minus 0.4 meter per second square. Distance traveled by a moving object. The area under a speed time graph represents the distance traveled by the object. If the motion is uniform, then the area can be calculated using appropriate formula for geometrical shapes represented by the graph. For example 2.9. A car moves in a straight line. The speed time graph of its motion is shown in figure 2.25. Here we have this figure. From the graph, find the acceleration, deceleration, total distance covered and average speed of the car during its journey. Solution is acceleration during the first 10 seconds. Here we have this formula to find out the acceleration, which will, by putting the values, answer will be 1.6 meter per second square. Acceleration during the last 2 seconds from 0 to 16, the answer will be negative acceleration. It shows the deceleration minus 8 meter per second squared. Total distance traveled, area under the graph, OABZ, BC, half sum of parallel sides into height. By putting the values, we will get the total distance traveled. Average speed, total distance covered over time taken. Equations of motion. There are three basic equations of motion for bodies moving with uniform acceleration. These equations relate initial velocity, final velocity, acceleration, time and distance covered by a moving body. To simplify the derivation of these equations, we assume that the motion is along a straight line. We consider only the magnitude of displacements, velocities and acceleration. Consider a body moving with initial velocity v in a straight line with uniform acceleration a. Its velocity becomes v f. After time t, the motion of a body is described by a speed time graph. So here we have speed time graph. This is the slope of line AB, which shows the acceleration. The total distance covered by a body is shown by this shaded area under the line AB. Look at the first equation of motion. Here we have the speed time graph for the motion of a body is shown. We know about the slope of line AB, which is equal to the BC and AC. BC is equal to initial velocity minus final velocity and AC is equal to OD. So here, by putting all these values in this equation, we will get A is equal to VF minus VI over T. By rearranging it, we will get our first equation of motion, which will be VF is equal to VI plus AT. Second equation of motion in speed time graph as shown in figure 2.26, the total distance as traveled by the body is equal to the total area OABD under the graph. So total distance S is equal to area of rectangle plus triangle. So area of rectangle is equal to OA into OD, where O is initial velocity, OD is time. Area of triangle ABC, half AC into BC, where AC is time and BC is acceleration into time AT. Since the total area is equal to area of rectangle, so OABD plus area of triangle ABC. Putting values in the above equation, we get S is equal to VIT plus half T into AT. Here T and T are multiplying, so we will write it as half AT square. Third equation of motion in speed time graph as shown in figure 2.26, the total distance as traveled by the body is given by the total area OABD under the graph. Total area OABD is equal to S is equal to OA plus BD over 2 into OD, or we can say that 2S is equal to OA plus BD into OD. By multiplying the both sides by BC over OD, we will get 2S into BC over OD is equal to OA plus BD into OD into BC over OD. This OD and OD will cut. We will get 2S into BC over OD is equal to OA plus BD into BC. By putting the values in equation 2.7, we will get our third equation of motion, which will be 2AS is equal to VI square minus VF square minus VI square. Example 2.10, a car traveling at 10 meter per second. So initial velocity is 10, which is given in the statement. Acceleration is 2, time is 5 seconds. We have to find out the final velocity. With the help of the first equation of motion, by putting all these values in this equation, we will get the answer of final velocity, which will be 20 meter per second. Example 2.11, a train slows down from 80 kilometers per hour. So initial velocity is given with a uniform retardation of 2 meter per second square. We will multiply it by 1000 to change it into meter per second. 60 into 60 seconds, which will be answer will be 22.2 meter per second. Here we have the final velocity. Also we will convert it into smaller unit, meter per second. Acceleration is given, time is given. By using the first equation of motion, we will get the time taken, which will be 8.3 seconds. Example number 2.12, a bicycle accelerates at 1 meter per second square from an initial velocity of 4 meter per second for 10 seconds. Find the distance moved by it during this time interval. Initial velocity is given, A is given, time is given, and S, we have to find out the value of S. By using the second equation of motion, by putting all these values in this equation, we will get the distance covered. Here we have this blue box, useful information to convert meter per second into kilometer per hour. To convert kilometer per hour to meter per second, we will use all these formulas. Look at the example number 2.13. In this statement, initial velocity is given, distance is given, final velocity is given. We have to find out the acceleration and time. By using the third equation of motion, by putting all these values in this equation, we will get the acceleration, which will be 2 meter per second square. And by using the first equation of motion, we will get the time. The value of time will be 5 seconds. Motion of freely falling bodies: drop an object from some height and observe its motion. Does its velocity increases, decrease, or remain constant as it approaches the ground? Galileo was the first scientist to notice that all the freely falling objects have the same acceleration independent of their masses. He dropped various objects of different masses from the Leaning Tower of Pisa. He found that all of them reached the ground at the same time. The acceleration of freely falling bodies is called gravitational acceleration. It is denoted by g. Its value will be approximately 10 meter per second. For freely falling bodies, bodies falling down freely, g is positive and is negative for bodies moving up. Look at the example 2.14. In this statement, initial velocity will be 0, gravitational acceleration is given 10 meter per second square, time is given. We have to find out the height and final velocity. By using the second equation of motion, we will use h instead of s here, because a stone is dropped from the top of a tower. So we will calculate the height. By putting all these values in this equation, we will get the height, which will be 125 meter. Applying the equation of third equation of motion, we will get the final velocity. Look at the example 2.15. In this statement, initial velocity, we have to find out the initial velocity. Gravitational acceleration, we know about the gravitational acceleration. Time for up and down motion is given. Velocity at maximum height is 0. We have to calculate the height and initial velocity. As the acceleration due to gravity is uniform, hence the time t taken by the ball to go up will be equal to the time taken to come down, which will be half t(o). So t will be half into 5 seconds is equal to 2.5 seconds. Now apply the first equation of motion. By putting all these given values, we will get the initial velocity, and by using the second equation of motion, by putting all these values, we will get the height, which will be 31.25 meters. Thus the ball was thrown up with a speed of 25 meter per second, and the maximum height to which the ball rises will be 31.25 meters. This is all for today. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.